You are about to hear something that may disturb you. Two words. Two simple everyday words that you probably use without even thinking. But these words, they are poison. They look harmless. They sound ordinary. But the moment you let them slip from your lips, the moment you repeat them in your mind, something in your world begins to close. The doors of wealth shut silently, and you don't even notice. Neville Goddard taught that every word you speak is a revelation of the state you occupy. Words are not just sounds, they are bridges. They connect your invisible assumptions to your visible world. And once you understand this, you will never speak carelessly again. Think of this. You may have struggled with money. You may have tried affirmations, visualizations, prayers, but what if all along, two hidden words were sabotaging you? What if you've been building the house of wealth with one hand and tearing it down with the other? Stay with me, because in the next few moments you will discover what these words are, why they destroy, and how you can finally free yourself. This is not superstition. This is the secret structure of reality itself. Before we begin, pause for a moment. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. You are imagining right now. And what you imagine, you become. If you want to go deeper into Neville's wisdom and never miss these revelations, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell. Because each word you hear here can be the turning point of your life, the invisible trap of words. You live surrounded by words. Every conversation, every thought, every whisper in your mind is built from them. And yet, most people move through life without realizing that words are not neutral. Words carry states. They are containers of consciousness. When you repeat a word, you reinforce the state behind it. Think of it like music. A single note played again and again creates a mood, a vibration. In the same way, when you speak a certain word, you summon its emotional atmosphere. You don't just describe life with words, you create life with words. Neville said, "The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself." When you declare something outwardly, it is only echoing what you have been affirming inwardly. And here lies the trap. Most people affirm poverty, lack, and limitation without even realizing it. Imagine this. You wake up and look at your bills. You sigh and say something so small, so ordinary, you don't even notice. But that small word tells your subconscious, "This is who I am." It becomes law in your world. Day after day, you reinforce the state of being without. Not because you want to, but because you are hypnotized by habit. And every time you speak these words, you program your imagination against yourself. The invisible trap is this: you believe you are just describing reality, but in truth, you are decreeing it. You are writing tomorrow with today's careless words. Think of how powerful this is. One person says, "I can't." Another says, "I will." Both are prophets. Both are announcing their future. And both will be right. When you begin to notice the weight of your words, you awaken. You step out of the sleep of the masses. You begin to realize that your tongue has been steering your destiny like a hidden rudder beneath the water. This is why Neville insisted that imagination creates reality, because imagination is not only what you see with your mind's eye, it is what you confirm, reinforce, and repeat in words. So ask yourself now, what phrases do you repeat every day? Do they declare freedom, or do they confess chains? Are you speaking life, or are you whispering death into your dreams? The trap is invisible until you see it, but once you see it, you cannot go back. If this is resonating with you, write in the comments, "I choose words of wealth," because even this small act is a declaration, a turning point. In the next chapter, you will see why these words are not just mistakes, but weapons against your prosperity. And you will begin to understand why you must never speak them again. The hidden danger behind everyday speech. You have been taught that words are cheap, that they are just sounds floating in the air, disappearing as soon as they are spoken. But this is the lie that keeps you trapped. Words are not cheap. They are expensive. Every careless word costs you something. It takes from you or it gives to you. Neville said that your outer world is only the echo of your inner conversations. This means that nothing in your life appears by accident. The job you have, the money in your account, the opportunities or the lack of them, all of it is shaped by the tone of your inner dialogue. When you say words of defeat, you don't just express a mood. You anchor yourself into that mood. You weld your soul to it, and the world outside has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Picture this. You complain about not having enough. You tell a friend, it's always hard. Or in your head you sigh, things never change. Those words feel so natural, so justified, but each one of them is a seed planted in the soil of your imagination. And because imagination creates reality, those seeds cannot stay invisible. They must grow. This is the hidden danger. You are never just talking, you are sowing, and your harvest will be exactly what you spoke. Most people don't want to believe this. They think they are the victim of circumstances. But Neville turned the mirror back toward us. If you judge not according to appearances, but according to your assumption, you will see the law in action. So ask yourself, what have you been assuming when you speak? What hidden agreements have you signed with your words? Because every time you say, I can't, you are signing a contract with limitation. Every time you say, I'm broke, you are locking yourself into poverty. And every time you say, I never get lucky, you are rejecting the gifts that were already waiting for you. This is why Neville called imagination the redemptive power. Because once you awaken, you can redeem every careless word you have spoken. You can recall your wandering imagination. You can choose again. But first, you must feel the weight of this truth. Every word is a command. Every phrase is an order. You are the general of your destiny, and your words are the soldiers. They obey you without hesitation. So I ask you now, are you sending your army to build your empire or to burn it down? If this message is opening your eyes, hit the like button right now, not just to support this channel, but as a personal declaration. By clicking, you are saying, I refuse to speak against my wealth ever again. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into Neville's core teaching, why words matter not because of their sound, but because of the state of consciousness they reveal. Words as the mirror of your state. You may think words have power because of their meaning, but Neville revealed something far deeper. Words only carry power because they reveal the state you are in. Every word is a mirror. It shows you who you believe yourself to be in that moment. When you say, I can't, the state behind it is impotence. When you say, it's too hard, the state behind it is defeat. And when you say, I'll never have enough, the state behind it is poverty. You are never describing life, you are describing yourself. And the world outside responds faithfully to that description. Neville insisted that states are the only realities. You move from one state to another like an actor changing costumes, and whichever state you inhabit, that state will express itself through your words. This is why it is impossible to fake it for long. You can try to speak positively for a day, even for a week. But unless you truly shift your state, your words will betray you. Listen to yourself closely. Do you hear words of complaint? Do you hear excuses, explanations of why things can't change? Those are not just words. They are symptoms. They reveal the state you are secretly dwelling in. But here is the secret most people miss. If words reveal your state, they can also shift your state. When you deliberately choose a new phrase, you invite a new state to clothe you. It is as if you open the door of your inner house and let a new tenant move in. Imagine this. You wake up and instead of saying, I can't afford this, you declare, everything I need flows to me at the right time. At first, it feels strange, forced, but keep repeating it. and soon your imagination begins to align with it. Your mood changes, your posture changes, and eventually your world changes. Neville said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." Your conception of self is always betrayed or confirmed by your words. So if you want to know who you really are, listen to yourself. And if you want to change who you are, change what you say. Remember this: you are not bound to any one state. You can leave the state of poverty. You can leave the state of fear. You can leave the state of limitation, but you cannot do it while still speaking their language. Every state has a vocabulary. If you want to live in wealth, you must learn the words of wealth. If you want to live in freedom, you must learn the words of freedom. In the next chapter, we will expose how the state of lack hides in plain sight, disguised in words so common that almost everyone uses them daily. The language of lack. You have heard it before. Maybe you have even said it yourself. Phrases like, "I'm trying my best, but it's never enough," or "I'll never get out of this hole," or "Some people are just lucky, not me." Do you see what these words have in common? They do not simply describe a situation, they confess a state. They expose the hidden home of your imagination. Neville taught that the state you occupy is everything. Your wealth or poverty, your joy or sorrow, your success or failure, all of it is born from the state you are in. And the state always leaks out through your words. Listen carefully to your everyday speech. When you tell a friend, "It's always hard," you are not describing a passing moment. You are announcing the law of your world. When you sigh and say, "Nothing ever changes," you are not venting frustration. You are commanding your imagination to repeat the same story again and again. This is the language of lack. It is subtle, almost invisible, because everyone around you speaks it too. Entire societies are built on it. Complaints, comparisons, confessions of limitation. This is the air most people breathe. And because it feels normal, you never question it. But normal is not neutral. Normal is deadly. It keeps you locked in the same cycles year after year. Think about this. If you were already wealthy, truly abundant in your being, would you ever say, "I can't afford it"? Would you ever sigh, "There's never enough"? No, because the vocabulary of wealth does not include those phrases. This is why Neville insisted you must die to the old man. The old man is the old state, and the old state clings to you through its words. Every time you speak them, you resurrect the very self you are trying to escape. But here's the hope. You can hear yourself. You can notice the words you use. And the moment you notice, you gain power. Because awareness is the first step out of hypnosis. So I invite you to watch yourself this week. Listen closely. When you speak to others, when you mutter under your breath, when you whisper in your thoughts, catch the language of lack. Don't condemn yourself for it. Simply notice, and every time you hear it, remind yourself, "This is not who I choose to be." You are not bound to that state. You can step into a higher one, and when you do, your language will follow. If you feel the truth stirring in you, drop a comment. I release the language of lack. Even this small act shifts you, because it is a new declaration. In the next chapter, we will finally reveal the two forbidden words, the words that millions repeat every single day without realizing they are commanding poverty into existence. The two forbidden words. You have waited long enough. It is time to expose the trap. The two forbidden words that block wealth, that seal doors, that quietly sabotage your life. They are simple, they are ordinary, but they are deadly. The words are, "I can't." That's it. Two small words, but they are the gatekeepers of poverty. Think about how often you have said them. I can't afford it. I can't do this. I can't change. I can't imagine living like that. Each time you speak those words, you are not describing reality. You are commanding it. You are planting the flag of limitation in the territory of your life. Neville taught that assumption. not effort, is what creates. And I can't is the assumption of impotence. It assumes you are powerless, small, blocked by forces outside yourself. It assumes life is bigger than you, when in truth, life is only the mirror of you. Do you feel the weight of that? Every time you say, I can't, you kneel before a false idol, you worship limitation, and the world, faithful to your inner devotion, reflects it back to you. Look at your own history. Think of the opportunities you turned away from because of those words. The dreams you delayed, the actions you never took, not because they were impossible, but because you crowned I can't as your master. But here is the shocking part. I can't is never true. It only feels true because you believe it, because you rehearse it, because you let it echo in your mind until it becomes your only language. Neville revealed the truth. You are God imagining. You are the operant power. The only real question is not, can I? The only question is, will I assume the state? Niaces, when you say, I can't, you refuse the invitation to step into a higher state. You choose the prison instead of the palace. And life, loyal to your choice, locks the door behind you. But you can choose differently. Right now, you can bury I can't forever. You can replace it with a higher decree. Instead of I can't afford it, declare it is mine in imagination, and imagination is reality. Instead of I can't change, declare I am already changed and the world reflects me. Instead of I can't see it happening, declare it is finished, I already am. Right now, I want you to write in the comments, I bury, I can't. This is not just engagement, it is your first act of rebellion against the old state. In the next chapter, you will see the hidden effect of these words, how I can't doesn't just stop you in the moment, but poisons your entire future if you let it live. The poisoned future of I can't. When you say I can't, it does more than stop you in the moment. It begins to rot your future, because every time those words leave your lips, you are not just rejecting one opportunity, you are shaping the person you believe yourself to be. And that belief becomes the seed of your destiny. Neville said, your assumption to which you consent becomes your world. I can't is nothing less than consent to failure, consent to poverty, consent to powerlessness. And once you agree to it, even silently, the world must mirror it back to you, not just today, not just tomorrow, but for as long as you allow those words to live in your imagination. Think of it like this. Imagine a river flowing freely. Every I can't you speak throws another stone into that river. One stone doesn't stop the flow, but keep throwing day after day, and soon the river is blocked. The current slows. The water grows stagnant. This is what you do to your wealth when you live in I can't. The tragedy is this. People believe they are being realistic. They think they are simply describing what they see, but they are blind to the truth. What they see is only the echo of what they first assumed. By saying I can't, they assume limitation, and limitation dutifully appears before them. Then they point to it and say, see, I told you. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is the poison of those words. They disguise themselves as facts. They pretend to be practical. But in truth, they are spells, and every time you speak them, you are casting the same dark spell over your life again and again. Look back at your life for a moment. How many times have you whispered, I can't? How many doors closed because you believed it? How many moments of courage never came because you chose the safety of that lie? And how much wealth, opportunities, ideas, connections, unexpected gifts never arrived because you blocked the river with your own words? Neville said, change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. But I can't is the ultimate refusal to change your conception. It is the stubborn defense of the old self. It is the chaining of your imagination to the past. Yet even now, you can feel the chains loosening. Because the very act of hearing this truth is breaking the hypnosis. You are beginning to see that those two words have never been real. They were only a choice, and you are free to choose again. If you are ready to step out of the poisoned future of "I can't," hit the like button right now. Not just as support, but as a sacred act of saying, "I refuse to speak against my wealth ever again." In the next chapter, you will receive the antidote, the replacement words that dissolve "I can't" and open the flow of prosperity in your life. The antidote to "I can't." Every poison has an antidote, and the antidote to "I can't" is not positive thinking. It is not repeating empty affirmations you don't believe. It is the conscious assumption of a new state and the language that flows from it. So what is the antidote? It is a simple shift from "I can't" to "I am." Those two words are the key. I am is the name of God in you. It is the creative core of your being. Whatever you attach to "I am," you clothe yourself in. You make it flesh. You give it life. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not begging for money. You are assuming the state of wealth. When you say, "I am capable," you are not trying to convince yourself. You are revealing the truth of your nature. And when you say, "I am abundance," you are declaring that your very essence is supply itself. Neville said, "I am is the self-definition of the infinite." This means that every time you say "I am," you are writing scripture. You are defining yourself, and the world must reflect that definition. But here's the secret. It is not enough to say the words mechanically. The words must feel alive. They must carry the weight of assumption. When you declare, "I am wealthy," feel the relief of wealth in your body. When you declare, "I am free," sense the freedom filling your chest like air. When you declare, "I am capable," see yourself already succeeding. This is how you apply the antidote, not by reciting words, but by letting the words ignite a state. Now consider the power of this. Every time you were about to say, "I can't," you stop yourself, and instead you say, "I am." You are turning poison into medicine. You are rewriting the script of your life. Imagine living 1 week without "I can't." Imagine replacing every excuse with "I am." How different would you feel? How different would you act? And how quickly would the world bend to your new declaration? Neville promised that persistence in assumption will harden into fact. So persist, even when doubts whisper, even when appearances contradict. Choose "I am," and soon the outer world will have no choice but to obey. If you are ready to bury "I can't" and live from "I am," write in the comments right now, "I am wealth, I am abundance." Let this be your first public declaration of the new self. In the next chapter, you will receive a practical exercise, a way to use your imagination today to anchor this shift permanently in your being. The practice of imagination. Now that you know the poison and the antidote, it is time to practice. Because knowing is not enough. Hearing is not enough. Transformation comes only when you live this truth within yourself. Neville's method was always simple. Enter into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live inwardly as though your desire were already true, and the world must echo it. So here is the exercise. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, breathe slowly, and for just a moment, let the outer world fade. Now, recall the old phrase, "I can't." Feel the weight of it in your body. Notice how small it makes you. Notice how heavy your chest feels when you say it inside. See the future it creates. Doors closed, opportunities fading, life shrinking. Hold that image for 1 moment. And now, bury it. Imagine yourself taking those words, carving them into stone, and dropping the stone into the ocean. Watch it sink. Feel it disappear. It is gone. "I can't" has no power over you anymore. Now, replace it. Whisper softly but firmly, "I am." Attach to it the state you long to live in. Say, "I am wealthy." Say, "I am free." Say, "I am capable." Don't just repeat, feel it. Feel the relief of wealth as though the money is already yours. Feel the joy of freedom as though the chains were already broken. Feel the strength of capability as though you had already succeeded. In this moment, you are not pretending. You are not imagining as if. You are entering the real state, the state that already exists within you. And once you occupy it, it must express itself outwardly. See yourself walking into the future from this new identity. You are no longer the one who says, I can't. You are the one who declares, I am. And the world bends to your declaration. Do this practice every day, especially at night as you drift into sleep. Because Neville taught that the state in which you fall asleep is the state that shapes your tomorrow. Fall asleep in I am, and you will awaken in a world that proves it true. This is the simple, eternal law. Assume, and it shall be. The words I can't chain you to poverty. The words I am free you into wealth. If you are committing to this practice tonight, hit the subscribe button and write in the comments, I am ready. Because this small act is the first ripple of the new state you now occupy. In the conclusion, we will bring all of this together, so you walk away not just inspired, but transformed, ready to live as the new self forever. The death of I can't and the birth of I am. You have walked a long journey in this hour. You have seen the invisible trap of words. You have discovered how ordinary phrases reveal extraordinary states. You have exposed the poison of I can't, and you have tasted the antidote of I am. Now the choice is before you. Neville said, dare to assume you are what you want to be, and you will compel your world to conform to the assumption. This is not theory, it is law, and you have proven it to yourself in secret 1,000 times. Every moment you said, I can't, the world obeyed. Now it is time to reverse the current. Now it is time to say, I am, and watch the world bow to your new declaration. Think of what this means. You are no longer a victim of chance. You are not waiting for luck. You are not begging for permission. You are the operant power. You are God imagining, and every word you speak is creation. So bury I can't. Do not let it live in you again. When it rises to your lips, silence it. Replace it. Redeem it. Say instead, I am. Say I am wealth. Say I am abundance. Say I am free. And then feel it. Walk in it. Live as though it were already finished, because it is. From this day forward, you are no longer the one who doubts. You are no longer the one who shrinks. You are no longer the one who speaks chains into existence. You are the one who speaks life. You are the one who declares freedom. You are the one who says, I am, and watches the world transform. Let this be your new language. Let this be your new state. And never forget, what you are imagining right now is your tomorrow. Choose wisely, choose boldly, choose I am. If this teaching has awakened something in you, take a moment now to like, subscribe, and share this message. Not just as support for this channel, but as your declaration that you are stepping into a higher state and you refuse to go back. Because the death of I can't is the birth of I am. And I am is the key to wealth, freedom, and the life you were always meant to live. Your words are your world, and now you will speak only creation.